Hello super friends and welcome to my channel. For today we're going to be having a look at the DC Essentials Aquaman and Black Manta action figures by DC Collectibles. Previously on this channel we've opened up the Superman, the Batman and Deathstroke, the Flash and Reverse Flash, as well as the Doomsday Clock action figures Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan. Not to mention I've opened up Brainiac in more of a discussion video and less of an action figure review video. So the only two DC Essentials left are Aquaman and Black Manta, and then we're all caught up. The packaging for these figures is the same as all the rest of them, white with a solid color. Aquaman's is a yellowish orange, and Black Manta's is a nice dark black. It's very attractive packaging with an open window on one side and an image of the figure on the other. And on the back we have images of the figures again with the other figures that have previously been released with a write-up of each one. You could pause to read it if you so desire. When we yank the action figures out of the package, here's what we get. They look pretty good so far, and I gotta tell you, just off the bat, I think that Aquaman, as far as the sculpting detail goes, is the gem of this particular wave, and possibly the series so far. And I'm gonna wager a guess that this figure is gonna have probably the most unique sculpted detail. But let's have a closer look. So first, let's cover the accessories for these figures. Aquaman comes with his trident. It's so painful to say that because it's not three. I know, you guys who watch my videos are like, just call it a trident already, but I just can't. Tri means three. This ain't three. Aquaman's Undersea Atlantis Sea King pitchfork is painted a nice gold color, and it's probably my most favoriteest looking pitchfork I've seen. I called it a pitchfork. It ain't a pitchfork! Next! And then we have Black Manta's two fighting swords and his, whatever that is. I still don't know what it's called. I've never looked it up. It's just, how would you use that? I really need to pay attention to this weapon more when Black Manta has it out because I really have no idea what it is. So that's the accessories that these guys come with. So Aquaman's colors seem pretty accurate to the rebirth version of Aquaman. He's got the green, he's got the orange, he's got the golden belt, but a lot of work has been done with this figure to really make him different than the rest of them. Not only that, but the paint apps on my Aquaman are actually really clean. Probably the cleanest and most flaw-free out of all of the DC Essentials that I've opened so far. The shiny orange looks absolutely fabulous, and the green looks fabulous too. And the same thing with the head sculpt. It looks fabulous. Fabulous, 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 fabulous. Is that enough fabulouses for you? Sorry. There's an inside joke, and those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll get that joke. Now looking closer, this figure is actually chocked full with a ton of newly sculpted, unique to Aquaman details. Every piece of his body that is connected to his orange goldfish armor tunic is brand new, not to mention his gloves, and the back calves of his legs have the fins, so they're new. He's got the belt, and that's new, and of course the head's new. So this Aquaman is filled with new pieces, and new tooling is not cheap. Now looking closer at Aquaman's head sculpt, I really like it. You can really see Jason Fabok and Paul Harding's work shining through here. And the only problem is the stamp paint work that they've done on the face kinda doesn't match up. It's not sloppy as in messy, it's just not where it's supposed to be. I mean, look at that eyebrow. It's just, it ain't right. He does kind of have that weird bumpy mole thing on his face, which is also weird, but overall so far I think that he looks fantastic, and I'm going to compare him to some other Aquaman figures just now, as you can see on the screen, just to give you an idea of what a size and scale is going to be like in comparison to others. Now let's break it down to some smaller group shots. Again, overall, I think this Aquaman figure looks absolutely fabulous, but you'll see in a second that this Aquaman's articulation in the legs is really, really wibbly. Like, when I shake him, his legs are just as wiggly as the Superpowers Collection Aquaman's legs got, and he had leg kicking in the bathtub power action. But first, let's take a look at Black Manta before we get into the articulation for both of them. Now, Black Manta is an all-black figure, has very little new sculpting, actually almost none. He's very, very shiny. Like, you could shine a light on him underwater and chances are you wouldn't lose him because the light would reflect off of him and go in your eyes and you'd be like, oh, poor Gordon Bennett, no, I can't say anything, everything is all bright. This figure still looks pretty good. Why? Well, because it's Black Manta and the thinner buck actually suits him. I can imagine him actually looking like this. So all around, the figure so far looks really nice. I don't look at him and go, those are really weird body proportions. It just, for some reason, doesn't jump out at me. So, it's cool. Now, the newly sculpted detail for Black Manta is actually pretty cool too. For one, Black Manta comes with his respirator unit on his back, and that's probably the coolest looking respirator unit I've seen any company sculpt for Black Manta ever. You can also put his accessories, his two fighting swords, and his other weird thing in there, and they fit perfectly. The hoses are made out of a soft rubber, and they're newly sculpted. He's also got the thing here on his arm. His, what exactly is that? Oh, I don't remember. It's one of those, yes. And of course, the helmet and the neck piece are all brand new sculpts as well. So even though this figure just basically does wear a black bodysuit, there's enough new sculpted detail that I'm like, meh, it's cool. But I just wanted to point out as well that he did steal Batman's boots, because look, there's Batman's boots. Now looking in closer at that head sculpt for Black Manta, which we've already established is a brand new sculpt, it looks really cool. It's my absolute most favoriteest Black Manta head sculpt I've ever seen ever. Seriously, it's big, it's shiny, it's got the big red eyes, and this is one cool looking badass Black Manta head. It's sculpted expertly and it's painted near perfect, so absolutely no complaints there. Now for Black Manta's size and scale comparison, here he is with a bunch of other Black Mantas. Say cheese, boys! That's the size and scale comparison right there, if you're wondering. Now we'll get on to the articulation, which differs in only one way. Aquaman's head is on the ball hinge, so it can move all around, look up, look way down, tons of articulation, while Black Manta's head sculpt, there really isn't a whole lot of movement there. It just kind of wibbles around like a bobblehead. Other than that, they both have hinged shoulders that can do what hinged shoulders do, lots of articulation all around. They've got bicep swivels that go turny, 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 elbows that can crunch up. They got wrists that swivel around because they're on swivel hinges. With their torsos, they have an ab crunch so they can crunch down and they can crunch up both ways. Their waists are on peg swivels, so round and round they go. The groins are on ball joints, as usual, not drop ball joints, but suffice ball joints. They both have a thigh cut at the top of the leg for spinny round and round 360, and they've also got double jointed knees for crunchy crunchy, so they can get into all kinds of poses if you can get them to balance. They got a 360-degree rotation cut below the knee, and the ankles are also on ball hinge ankle pivot rockers. There's a lot of articulation in these ankles. So as you can see, these guys have a lot of articulation, although I would suggest picking up an action figure stand because getting these guys to balance can be a real chore at times. Now it's time to actually decide whether we like them or not, or at least for me to really decide whether or not I like them. And I gotta say, it's a resounding yes. These figures are not exactly a smack out of the ballpark, but when I compare this Aquaman to all of the other Aquaman figures ever offered, if it wasn't for his limbs being a lot wiggly, I would probably say he's my absolute favorite by a long shot. However, I do have to say I'm still fond of the DC Universe Classics, and I actually really like the Multiverse Aquaman as well. And as far as looks go, I feel like he is about on par with the Brightest Day and the DC Collectibles New 52. And the same goes for Black Manta. I like the accessories that he comes with. I like the overall look. I like the black shiny paint. I don't care that he reuses Batman's boots. Ain't nobody looking at that. I think that the newly sculpted detail is really clever looking, so I am happy with these. I'm actually more happy with these guys than I was with Brainiac. Like, if I had to put these figures in order, obviously I like Superman the best, then Aquaman, and then Black Manta, and Brainiac is just way down the bottom because that was more of a mess than a success. But as usual, I'm just one guy, these are my opinions, and you're gonna have your own, so leave them down in the comments section below. Do you own these guys? Are you on the fence about them? Did my review make you say, nah, pass? Or do you absolutely love them because you already have them? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please bash a like on the like button. Yeah, I hit my desk when I said that on purpose, because it's tough and manly. Okay, that was dumb. I'm leaving it in there. And finally, if you think you would like to become a super friend and join the DC squad, hit the subscribe button, maybe ding the bell if it so pleases you, so that you maybe never miss a video, and I will see you with the next one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a rad day. Take care, everybody.